Hey guys, JJ here, bringing you Things We Want Elder Scrolls 6, Episode 11. Now, I realize I'm pretty late, in fact, a month late, and I said 2 weeks ago with the location video that I would be doing this past weekend. However, not going to get too into it. It was my mother's birthday, and of course, that resides, that's more important than Elder Scrolls and YouTube as a whole. So I spent the day with my mom on Sunday, and on Saturday she had a huge-ass birthday party. I was up to 4:30 in the morning. People would not leave my house. It was getting frustrating, but we're not going to get into that. So since this video is coming on a Tuesday, yes, you guys can still expect the location video. My other Elder Scrolls 6 series is going to be this weekend as well. So 2 Elder Scrolls videos like this on the same week. Awesome. A lot of work, but whatever. Now, the first comment comes from Edward Halavac. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Now, first thing I have to say before we actually read the comment is, guys, I can't stress this enough. I've said this many, many times. If you have suggestions, please don't put a huge list, because I'm not going to choose every single one. This is a community-based suggestion series, meaning that I have to get multiple people's suggestions and put them in these videos. I can't get one comment with 10 suggestions. Now, Edward, a lot of your comments were actually really good, but I chose 2 of them that I haven't gone over yet, or that I thought were pretty nice, where I might, where I'd put them in this video. So the first comment is more colored to the world, Oblivion styled. Now, the reason I chose this comment is because there is a huge difference between the landscape and the overall world feel of Skyrim as well as Oblivion. Oblivion's more, of a vibrant world, colorful, plants, tropical-ish, where Skyrim is just a snowy, sort of like snowy wasteland, and then, not really wasteland, but snowy, you know what I mean? Snow everywhere, mountaintops, a few grasslands, some forest, but that's basically it. In fact, if you think about it, without some mods, just plain vanilla Skyrim, it's kind of bland and boring. Don't get me wrong, it still looks beautiful, it's still fun to explore, but compared to the overall world of Oblivion, it doesn't even compare in my opinion. So yes, I really do agree with this comment. Now, this is also by Edward, and this comment is blade/blunt system back instead of one-handed and two-handed. Now, I am one of the very, very few people apparently on this earth that doesn't mind the way that the Skyrim leveling system is. I like one-handed, I like two-handed, but I would like to see the blade and blunt system integrated with those as well, because that was something I did think needed to have its own categories, was swords and, axes and maces and daggers and all that stuff, aka blade/blunt. So yes, I do like this idea. I don't think we're getting rid of the perk system. I know a lot of you guys hate the perk system. I personally don't have a problem with it. Whatever game it is, I'm gonna enjoy it. But I don't see Bethesda getting rid of it anytime soon. I think they'll integrate new things into it to make it better, hopefully for you guys. And this is something I would like to see integrated into that. The next comment comes from SpeedyGun1. There should be less information given to you, like the names and locations of NPCs that you've never met before. You should only know where someone is or their name through dialogue with them or another person. Now, in doing this would add an incredible amount of immersion and, in fact, more gameplay, in my opinion, because you would actually have to look for the person. Like he says in this comment, you don't know the person, therefore you shouldn't know their name, therefore you shouldn't know their location. However, if someone provides you a location or a name, you can go to that said area and look for them, but you're not going to know automatically who it is, and that would add a lot more gameplay experience, in my opinion, and a ton of immersion, and I really enjoyed this comment. Now, the next comment comes from Paulo Henrique. I think that's how you say it. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's a Spanish name, obviously. Stealth should be improved in general with more tools and interaction with the scenario. For example, if there was rope arrows, you can get to certain positions where the enemy would not detect you so easily. Also, an ability to knock out your enemy instead of killing them would all add to the game. Now, I agree for the most part with this comment. That's why I put this in here. However, I honestly don't see Bethesda doing the whole rope arrow thing or the knockout button. I know a lot of people have been putting that in the suggestions, the knockout button or the silent kill button. I honestly don't see Bethesda doing that in their next game. But I do agree with the first part of this, because let's be honest, blatantly obvious is Skyrim's stealth system is kind of bad. Even Oblivion's stealth system is bad, because it's really, you're just crouching, you're sneaking, but it's so blatantly obvious sometimes that you're there, and it's just the fact that enemies can't detect you just sometimes generally pisses me off, because I personally like to play stealth sometimes with a bow and arrow character, an archer, and it really does break immersion when I'm literally standing a foot away from the guy and he can't see me. So I'm not saying I entirely agree with the examples you provided. However, I would like to see some new interaction and integration with the stealth system and stealth mechanics, making it so you can have a better and more stealthy experience, because let's be honest, the way that the system works in these in Skyrim and Oblivion is basically just go and kill. go and kill, go and use magic, go and kill. I mean, yeah, you can be stealthy, which is what I like to do sometimes, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, and I think there should be more situations where you have to be stealthy and stuff like that. Alright guys, another thing I want to say is I'm sorry if I'm breathing a lot or I'm stuttering. It has been a while since I did this series, and these videos are pretty long, and I just came in from working out a little bit, so I am a little tired, but I needed to get this done for you guys. But without further ado, the next comment comes from Sienna Vision 1, and this is actually 3 suggestions. Like I said before, I don't like too many suggestions, but the way this, the way this was written it's not too much, so I decided to cover all of it. 1, being able to have things like, instead of just iron armor, you can attach things like a belt, a skull, and things like that. I really think this idea is awesome. One of my favorite mods is this lantern mod, which actually attaches a light source onto your your belt in Skyrim, so you, instead of using a torch at night, I just have a lantern on me. And that same can be said for, skulls and other things, little trinkets and trophies. That would be awesome. 2, being able to dye your armor. I'm not sure if we went too much over armor customization. I'm pretty sure we did. But the way they wrote it, they had this in ESO, and it made me more attached to my character and armor. It makes me, a more unique and amazing experience. I've mentioned this several times that, yes, being able to actually customize the armor and the swords that you're making in the game does make you feel more attached to that armor or that sword piece that you created. And of course, more beards, because honestly, Oblivion didn't really have beards, and Skyrim beards were good. I always use beards, but they weren't really that good. There's a lot of mods that improve it, but vanilla base, there's not that many. The next comment comes from Wacky Skeleton. You should be able to do, sorry, I can't speak English all of a sudden. You should be able to get a statue of yourself like in Oblivion, but in Skyrim they didn't add it. Like, for real, Bethesda, you're the freaking Dovahkiin, and there should be multiple statues. Like, if you're an Imperial War hero, there should be a statue of you somewhere, or if you ever wanted to, like, a bounty paper with a gray fox in Oblivion, blah, blah, blah. Now, I completely agree with this. I do agree with this, how he mentions that, why would they get rid of this feature, you get a statue of yourself like in Oblivion. Why did they get rid of that in Skyrim? I honestly don't know, because in terms of like who your character is in the story, the Dovahkiin is a huge important part of the Skyrim land and the Nord culture, because it's like you can speak with the dragons, you are the Dragonborn. You would think that they would take that pretty serious. You're like basically you're not really a god amongst human, but you're sort of like freaking, I don't want to get, hate for this, but you're like the Jesus of the dragons or something, like you're that person, you're that prophet basically between the dragons and the humans. You kill dragons, you're saving people. Where the hell is my statue? This is BS. I want to be recognized for all my stuff and my duties and everything that I've ever done for these people. The next comment comes from Ton Gamerim 1103. I also personally would be interested in a more intelligent merchandising system. For example, a Nordic merchant would most likely have weapons and armor of more Nordic variety, as with other type of Nordic merchant. This would also apply, of course, to other races as well. This is not to say that the Nordic merchant or Elven merchant would never have anything other than a native product. Now, I really agree with this. In terms of immersion and character, this does make a lot of sense, actually. If I go to a Nord shop, someone selling swords, he should have more Nord armor, more Nord swords. That is to say, like he puts in this comment, that doesn't mean that he can't have any Elven gear or Dwarven gear, or Dwemer gear, same shit, other stuff. But at the same time, he should have more of a variety of his own culture and people stuff, because that is probably what he is building, and what his craftsmen and his smiths are making is more towards their culture, representing their race. Of course, that is to be said that they can access, and sell other people's stuff, but for the most part, they should be selling more of their things. Like he said, that would make a lot of sense in terms of immersion, and I am all for this. And the last and final comment comes from Mudcrab Menace. More choices in quests is something that we really need in the Elder Scrolls 6. There should be more outcomes, up to 3 or 4 possible for some quests. Maybe even different endings to major faction quest lines and the main quest. Now, one of my favorite things in a game such as The Witcher 3, which I always mention, is the fact that every little thing you do in the world, and there's many other games like this, any BioWare game really is like this. Any little thing you do in the world affects the overall outcome of the ending, affects overall outcomes of different stories, affects who's in the story for any longer, affects who can help you, who will try to kill you, all this other crap. And I really would like to see this in the Elder Scrolls 6. Different things that we can have, different possibilities, different choices would just make the game a ton better, in my opinion, and add so many different varieties for playthroughs and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. Also, letting you guys know the location in Elder Scrolls 6 video will be this weekend. I'll probably have another video before that. I'm not exactly sure on what, Let me know down below in the comments what other kind of stuff you guys want to see. I'm thinking about doing the Helgen Reborn playthrough either on this channel or my second channel. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.